Where do ideas come from and how can you access them? Do they happen at random or are they more forced? I think this is a question I've tried to ask myself many times, and I feel like a lot of you guys as well has tried to answer this question. You're never going to feel peaceful because you feel like you're supposed to be making something and giving it to the world, but you have nothing, and that's horrible. And in my pursuit to try to make my life feel a little bit more harmonious, I have been trying to find ways to find ideas, and I think I might have the solution. Hear me out. When I look back on where I get my ideas, I've realized that they've been in certain locations, and all of these locations have some similarities. For one is when I'm in the shower. I think just being completely isolated and listening to music, or even just in silence, hearing the water and just letting your mind wander, I think that's when my best ideas come to me. And the second place, which I feel like is very equivalent to a shower, is being in the car. You are doing a mundane task. As much as you should be paying attention to the road, there is a form of autopilot that happens while you're driving. I've had quite a few ideas pop in my head, and at the next stoplight, I have to write them down on my phone as fast as possible before I forget them. And the last two are kind of synonymous with the other locations, but they're just more of activities. I find listening to music and listening to audiobooks or reading books, if you have the patience to actually read them. I don't, but I feel like listening to audiobooks and music has helped me a ton to look at other ideas, other perspectives, and also feel something that another artist intends for me to feel through their song or music. And the similarity between these locations and the activities is they require very little brain power. Ironically, I think we try to find ideas and we try to force them out of our minds. And I think under that pressure is actually ironically harder to come up with ideas. And I think coming up with ideas requires a lack of thinking. I think that these mundane tasks actually help us free our minds. By exerting less power of thought on what we're consciously doing, we are actually opening up our minds to make different connections and to come up with ideas on its very own. And our minds naturally make these connections without us even realizing it. So it feels kind of ironic that sometimes we try to force them out when in reality, they are just waiting to come out on their own as long as we just kind of chill out. And we are not machines. We're not built to just pump out ideas at every second. Though becoming more of a professional, if you're doing it every day and practicing every week, month, whatever it is, then that technically starts to look a little bit more effortless as you are creating things and gaining that creative muscle. So I think thought is both a absence of mind that helps us to come up with ideas, and also as we create more, coming up with ideas becomes easier. And for me, I've struggled to have ideas for drawing, for making videos and making streams, whatever it may be. I've lacked a lot of ideas. And as I said in a recent sketchbook video that I did where I tried to overcome my fear of drawing in a sketchbook, I think I realized that the more I treated my sketchbook not as a final product of what my art and ideas should look like, but as a place to just let my mind be free, and I've actually had a lot better sketches come out of my sketchbook than I even imagined. And I think it's just about accessing this state of mind that lets ideas flow more naturally is what we should really be aiming for. For instance, watching a TV show, movie, or social media in general can be a positive thing and can influence you to have different connections and ideas that flow from that experience. And I've also experienced this while camping, while getting away and doing something completely different than what I'm trying to focus on doing, which currently has been YouTube. And I think my ideas have flowed a lot easier that way by letting myself take the burden off of myself from trying to come up with ideas and just letting my mind relax. And ironically, that's been the best state of mind to be in for me to come up with ideas and even just get a refresher and refresh in my batteries so I can keep going. And I think if I could tell my past self this advice, even just a month or two ago, I think it would have made a huge difference. It's just something that I've recently come in contact with as a concept, and realizing that ideas aren't that hard to come by. Sometimes execution is hard, but I think coming up with ideas in the first place is kind of tricky. But I think finding those ideas that you can get those quick small wins on is really important for your self-esteem and your ability to start flexing that creative muscle. For me, it's been trying to make more simpler, less complex videos, and I think that that's helped me a ton. As I've been trying to practice my cinematography skills and just scripting ability as well, it's helped me a ton to make these videos a little bit more quicker and to have motivation to make them in the first place. And who knows, one of your small ideas might become your best ideas, but you'll never know unless you take a shot. So what's an idea that you have that you can make today, this week, this month, this year? Let me know what your thoughts are on this subject in the comments below and where you're most inspired. Remember, ideas can be simple. This video started as a single idea on how to get ideas. See you next time. Peace.